My name is Shivani and this is the Curly Bookworm. Welcome. I'm very excited for today's video and also a little bit nervous because if you've been here a while, you know that we talk about books. Like we talk about the books that I like and the books that I don't like and everything in between, and basically everything is my personal opinion of the books. But this video is getting a little more personal than just a personal opinion of a book. This video is my personal journey of quitting my career, a fairly successful career I might add, of 17 years in the corporate world and becoming a full-time artist. This is the story of that. And so you can imagine I'm a bit nervous, but I'm also very excited to tell you this story. Let's go. So as I was thinking about how I want to start this video and how I'm supposed to start this story of my personal quitting my job and becoming a full-time artist journey, I was like, well, how am I supposed to start this? And so I decided that I was going to give you 5 random facts about me, because I realized that actually even if you have been a subscriber for a while, you don't actually know anything about me. You just know about my personal opinions about books. And so if this is a personal video, let's just like help you get to know me. So fact number 1, I am from a city called Bombay in India. And I'm actually originally from a South Indian city called Bangalore. Now don't ask me to pick a favorite because that is just impossible and it becomes a big debate. Fact number 2 is that I am a personal server and butler to 2 cats. One of which is being drawn right at the back here. Mogu, that's Mogu, and then Suki. They are spoiled rotten. I'm not even kidding you. They are 2 years apart. Again, don't ask me to pick a favorite because I can't. It is just not possible. Fact number 3, I have 2 Instagram accounts. That is just insane to me. I never thought, I mean, like even taking care of 1 Instagram account is a lot, but taking care of 2 Instagram accounts? So I have the art Instagram account, which is a fairly new account. It's called Atelier Shivani. I'll put the details here. And then I have the book Instagram account. It's a lot. Random fact number 4 is that I have always painted. Like even as a kid, I always painted. I come from a fairly creative family. My father is an artist, very well-known artist in India and in South India. My mother is a fashion designer. My aunt is a Bharatanatyam dancer. And so we've all been always surrounded by all these creative things. And one day what happened was there was this man who walked into my father's office and he saw one of my drawings, this abstract thing. I'll try to put a picture here if I find it. And he decided that this would go really well as a print on a sari. So he actually bought it. So I have actually received money. Somebody has bought my painting when I was very, very young, like as a child artist. So that's like a fun fact about me as a painter. Fact number 5 is about my career. This career that I was talking to you about, the 17-year-old career in the big bad corporate world. I am a consumer insight specialist, which essentially means that I have worked with consumers across industries to find out what they like, what they don't like, take feedback, make products for them, make shows for them, because a lot of my career was spent in the TV industry. I worked at MTV and I worked at Netflix, and so a lot of the work that I did surrounded what kind of shows should we make, what kind of audience do we have, what are their lives like, so on and so forth. So that was my career before I decided to go and become a full-time artist, which was like a few months ago. So yeah, there you go, 5 random facts. Now you know me better officially. Okay, so now that you know some very random, disconnected facts about me, let me take you into some context, okay? Let me give you some idea of where I come from and why I decided to quit my full-time career. I just want to say up top and be really clear about the fact that I really, really, really enjoyed what I did. It wasn't one of those cases where I hated my jobs and I was just like, I want to quit and all of that. It really wasn't torture. I worked at some of the coolest companies. I started my career at Google. I have met some of the nicest people, whether it is in terms of talent or just nice people overall, made the best friends. I have had the best time in terms of working on fantastic projects. I kid you not, I have presented papers in New Orleans and in Nice in France. I have met really, really cool people along the way and learned so much about business and marketing and target audiences and all of that, and I became a specialist in my own field, and I must say that I was fairly successful. However, I feel like through these years, right from the very start, I always felt like there was something missing, that like I didn't know what the end goal of any of this was. Like I didn't know what I wanted to be, like the CEO of a consumer insights company. Not really. Did I want to be in marketing? Not really. It always came back as a not really, the answer to me. Somewhere at the smallest part of my mind, I knew that I wanted a more creatively led life. While I enjoyed this life, this corporate structure, and the friends that I've made and the things that I was learning, I knew that I wanted a creative life. This could really be because of the fact that I come from such a creative family. Like I said, my father is an artist. My partner does a whole bunch of creative things. My sister is an artist. I mean, everybody is doing something creative, and it influences you a lot, like to want to leave some sort of creative mark behind. So it's strange, right? Because you might ask me this question: if you've always had such creative influences in your life, why did you ever go and find a job in the corporate world? Like, why did you not start off as an artist? And you're right, like there was no resistance. I don't think anybody would have stopped me had I chosen a life in the creative fields. But it just so happened that I got recruited by Google. I went there unintentionally, simply because I had a great massage chair and snacks, and I enjoyed the job. And most of all, I think I got addicted to the paycheck, the stability of it all. And eventually, what I thought was an experiment for a year became a career of 17 years. I had the time of my life. I traveled the world with work, but it just felt like, I don't know, something was missing. I didn't know what I was missing. What is that little thing that I was missing? I did have an inkling that it had something to do with creativity and leading a more creatively led life. So there was a life I was leading where everything that I did in my job, I tried to insert creativity in it. Like if you saw my presentations, for example, they had a lot of color, they had a lot of like choreography going on in it. I've tried to find ways to infuse creativity into jobs that I've had, but it was never a creatively led life. Like it's one thing to infuse creativity into a corporate job. It's a whole other thing to take like your life and lead it through creativity. And I think that's what I was missing, and I just didn't feel like there was an end goal to this kind of career that I had right now. It's interesting because for the last 5 years, I've been a consultant, a freelance consultant within this space, the consumer insight space. And I began to experience some freedom in terms of how I spent my time. I had a bunch of clients, I worked with those clients, but whenever I got the free time, I started painting. I started falling in love with painting a lot. Like I was writing a lot, but suddenly I rediscovered painting in the last 4 or 5 years. And obviously my dad, who was still alive then, was delighted. He was so happy that I was like painting again. He was always encouraging me, and he was always asking me to experiment and try new things, which is what I was like ending up doing. At some point, I got in my head that, hey, I think I want to maybe reconsider becoming a full-time artist. But the thing is, at the end of the day, there is all this societal messaging, right? There's this whole imagery that is set about creatives and creative lives, right? People who are artists, especially fine artists and writers and dancers and such, we are suicidal, we are depressed, we are always broke, like hand to mouth, like we're not ever thriving. And that kind of imagery always made me stay away from it because I was doing well for myself. The other imagery that I really hate about like creative people is that the imagery is you can either be broke or you can be like really rich and famous, right? So you can either be like a total beggar artist on the street who like never makes any money, or you could be like a super famous national, international artist. And those are the only two extremes to live in. And that just was not okay with me. Like I'm sure you could be an artist, a singer, a dancer, a musician, and be in the middle of that. Like you don't have to be either broke or like completely rich and famous. You can have a sustainable, successful life where you have a comfortable life. You can feed your family and take care of yourself. That's like, is that too much to ask for? It's really not. The other thing is, of course, with the artist community specifically, you could either be a fine artist or you could be a graphic designer or some sort of illustrator where you work for, corporates, or you work in a design team at a certain job. And I didn't want either of that either. I just wanted more for my art than I was seeing around me. And I realized then that I actually hadn't been seeing enough around me at all. So two things were happening in parallel. I was painting, but I was also dreaming of a life that had more to do with the painting and less to do with the thing that I was doing, because I didn't feel like there was an end goal to this. And so I made the change, and I want to talk to you about how I made this change. So you know what I was doing while I was painting and while I was working and all of these things, I kind of went down a massive rabbit hole, because I also have kind of an obsessive personality, and I would, any free time that I got, I would just like watch YouTube videos, I would listen to podcasts, I would read books, I would visit galleries. I would try and get as many opinions as I can about the art world as it is today, to see what other people are doing. Do I have to be broke? Can I not be independent? Can I not work on my own and be an artist that is successful, that makes money, that is able to take care of her family, herself, have a home, you know, have the kind of standard of living that I would like? And so I started listening to a lot of stuff. I started watching a lot of stuff, like I said, and slowly over the last few years, I think it just occurred to me that this whole imagery that they sell you, it doesn't need to be true. The thing is, they sell you this like image of this sad, pure artist, a fine artist, whose like job is to just paint or create and just put it out in the world and have some magnanimous person come and buy it from them, like a collector, or like in the olden days a patron or whatever, right? But there's so many avenues today, and if I hadn't looked, I wouldn't even know there's Patreon, there's art lessons, there's making content like this. There's so many avenues of making money and of being a successful, thriving artist. And so to me, this opened up a whole wide world, and it made me realize that as an artist, the way to own my art is to fully own my art, which basically means that I don't just create, I also own how I sell this art. I own the business part of being an artist. I know business sounds sort of like an ugly word, but it doesn't have to be. And this is what I learned over the last couple of years, listening to all of these people talk about it. I realized that you can actually be both an artist and an entrepreneur, and that just gave me all the independence in the world. I literally woke up one day and I said, I want to be an artist, but I also want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a businesswoman. I wanted to make this something that was beyond this like romantic notion of an artist. I wanted to make something that made me independent, that made me make sure that I was making money, and I'm glad that I did it, because it's been a journey. It's been a journey because I have come from not believing to fully believing, and I think the literal reframing in my mind has happened because I have understood where my agency lies as an artist. My job, my whole career for the last so many years has been to understand target audiences. And if I only used some of the things that I learned, the marketing skills that I learned, the business acumen that I have, to understand how do I run a business? How do I find my audience, and how do I sell to them? Because at the end of the day, I have something of great value that I create that I would like people to own, that I would like my art to find a beautiful home. It is not rocket science, and even rocket science is not rocket science. It's doable. And so somewhere the whole thing became reframed in my head, and I decided that I'm gonna go for it. There were a few things that happened personally in my life too, from like a family point of view, that pushed this decision for me. It was just circumstantial, but at the time I decided that, you know what do I want to do for the next 10 years? Do I want to spend more time in a career where I don't know what the long game is? I don't see anything further than this. So what is it that I want to do? What vision do I have for myself? If these are the only 10 years that I have left, then how would I spend them? What is the best use of my time for the next 10 years? And this was the answer that I came to. I said, this was what I want to do. And I had a solution now. This broke artist imagery was no longer an excuse that I could hide behind. So for the last 3 months, I have actually registered a new company. I have opened a new company called Atelier Shivani. We make art products, we make art collectibles, and they're adapts from my original work. I also sell original work. I made the decision to move. Somehow this like project landed in my lap. I made these products. I'm sold out. My first product is sold out already. And now I'm in the process of creating more paintings and creative things and art collectibles for you guys to buy, and I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited that I took this leap, and I am very excited to take you on this journey with me, because I will keep updating you on what happens in terms of what is my next product, what is my next project, how is this year going to turn out. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm very, very excited for it, because I have finally found the thing that I felt like I was looking for. Although I was very happy, like I said, in my previous career, I was just looking for something, and I found that something, and I'm super happy. And so I wanted to share this very personal story with you. I wanted to tell you this also because I'm sure there are so many people out there in the world wondering, should I make that leap? And I would say to you, think about it. Think about why you want to make this leap. Think about what is the reason why you're doing this. What are your plans for it? How do you make sure that you take care of yourself? Like, don't just leap without thinking about how you're going to make money or how sustainable it is, because that's something that will plague you and you will not be able to sleep at night and things like that. I would say, think about it. Give that part of your mind equal importance. Like, give that part of your mind equal sort of weightage, and say, okay, I'm answering your questions. And so think about it, do your research, and know that it's possible. If that's what you want, it is possible. So with that, we come to the end of this story. I will obviously keep you updated on everything else that happens. I will do many art vlogs. I will take you through my art process, and I will also keep you updated as usual about books, because that's also something that I love. That's about it. Thank you so much for watching this, and thank you for, I don't know, being a part of this journey. That reminds me, I have to tell you, if you like this video, please subscribe for more content, and also, of course, hit the like button. I will talk to you soon. Bye.